Like, for example, if I perform at 8 o'clock at night, I'm usually there at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, setting up,
Whoa.
making sure my sound check's good.
It's the summer of fun on TOV. It's the summer of fun, just watch and see.
On this episode of The Summer of Fun, we're talking with Nathan King, who's performing at the upcoming Marshall County Fair. Okay, so we are here for the Summer of Fun with Nathan King. And Nathan, for those that don't know you or maybe haven't heard of you in the Ohio Valley, give us a little bit spiel about who you are, where you're from, and where they can see you perform.
Absolutely. My name is Nathan King. I'm a country artist. I live out of Weirton, West Virginia. I born and raised. I graduated Brooke High School in 2005. And actually, a lot of people would be more knowledgeable of my old rock project. I used to do heavy metal, and I actually had dreadlocks down to my waist and stuff. And I made the switch to country in about 2015. And ever since, I mean, I've traveled all over the country playing a lot of fantastic shows. I've gotten 2 albums out. My albums Heaven Tonight and All Eyes on You. They came out in 2016 and 2019, and I am working on a third. Just released a new single in the middle of May, and it's already garnished about 80,000 streams on Spotify. And yeah, I'm just doing what I can. Completely do it yourself.
I love it. Sounds like you've been in music for a really long time, although you're young. So,
Absolutely.
can you talk to us about that switch that you made? Why did you make it to country? And how do you feel about taking on country as a whole now?
Yeah, I mean, I've always grew up listening to everything. My first concert was the Beach Boys in '93, I believe. I'm not that young. Um, but I did rock most of my life. I mostly was following in the footsteps of my older brother, who we both started playing around the same age or the same time frame. I've been playing multiple instruments since I was 5 years old. And
Wow.
then just things happened, life happened, and my old band broke up. And I'm just like, well, I have these other songs I was working on that were country oriented. And I was like, well, why don't I just give that a try? Because I listened to it. Like, my second concert was Travis Tritt. Um, and then it just went downhill from there. I just always loved music.
Well, what are some of those instruments that you play?
Guitar, bass, banjo. I recorded all the banjos and the bass and the guitars on my new single. I play drums a little bit of piano and keyboard. I'm not as good as I used to be. I'd like to get back into that. I used to play trombone and harmonica. But
Okay.
I'd like to learn how to play like fiddle and the slide guitar, but that's a ways away, I'm sure.
And it sounds like you came from a musical family. Was it just you and your brother, or did you have others that are influencing you in your music career?
And for the most part, it was me and my brother since we were young. My dad played guitar a little bit. He just since recently started picking it back up. And then I had an older cousin, Brian, who played guitar, and he influenced us as well. But it was just we were drawn to it instantly, and just ever since we just never stopped playing.
And how does the area that you're from influence the music that you play? A lot of people are also from that area of West Virginia, and so maybe that is a way that they can connect.
Absolutely. I mean, it's almost heaven. I like to have songs that reflect that and reflect personal stories, as well as just everybody being friendly and like more uh, close knit communities than if you were in a big city environment.
And what is something that some people may not know about a local performer? Just about where you perform, how you perform. People usually just show up, they listen, they have a good time, then they go home. So we're trying to give them a
Absolutely.
behind the scenes view.
How much work goes into it? It's a
Okay.
lot of long days. Like, for example, if I perform at 8 o'clock at night, I'm usually there at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, setting up,
Whoa.
making sure my sound check's good. If we have to provide the sound system, then we have to make sure that it's set up properly, and then even just weeks before marketing it, doing the promotions or the any type of pushes that need. I do all my own like flyers whenever I'm needed to, so I do my design work. It's just a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money. It's not a free industry to do. You gotta make sure that you are investing in it, because it is in the end of things, it's the music business for a reason. Keyword on business. And you got to treat it as a business if you're wanting to do it as more than just a hobby. So
Nathan, you've got to be exhausted. You sound like a one-man band over here doing your PR, your marketing, and
Yeah,
performing, as well as I
rough.
talked to you about this before, but your setup there is amazing too. This might be the
Thank you.
best sounding interview that I ever had. So it sounds like you're really dedicated to your craft. What
Absolutely.
makes you so dedicated?
It's just what I wanted to do since I was 5 years old, and, I never had a plan B. I was very intelligent in school. I graduated a year early. I had a
Oh, wow.
132 IQ in the 4th grade. Used to compete in all, like, the math competitions and everything, but I didn't wanna do the college thing, and I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying for me personally, it wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do music, and, that's what I've been pursuing for my entire life.
Well, and and I feel like sometimes people feel like they have to have one or the other, but it takes an intelligent mind to be able to do everything that is involved in the music industry. I mean, I
Absolutely.
think of when you say that, I think of Ed Sheeran off the top of my head. I know a different genre of artist, but I just every time I watch him perform with all the different instruments and the
Absolutely.
rhythms that he throws in, that takes brain power to put on,
Yes. Very
right?
much. Absolutely.
So have your academics ever played a role in your career?
I'm sure it has to an extent, especially on the business and the marketing side of things. You gotta be well researched. You got to be able to make the connections to get the advice from the people who that you always want to take advice from people who are actually doing what you're wanting to do, and not just some random person on the internet that says that they don't like
Mhm.
your music. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
it's
have to block out some of those comments.
absolutely. But yeah, I'm my own booking agent, my manager, my publicist, my merchandise designer, my website designer. Um, More or less, I'm doing the job of 30 people and for no extra money, which stinks, but, we'll get
Well,
there.
and you have another job, correct?
Absolutely.
So this is although you're dedicating your full time to it, you also have another career on top of this as well,
Yeah, for now,
for now. Okay,
for
so
now.
one day we're hoping that this just takes over, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the goal.
Have you ever had a desire to move elsewhere, Nashville, LA, anywhere to
Uh,
get
yeah, there were definitely some, fleeting thoughts of, I was thinking of Nashville. I used to go multiple times a year, and some stuff came up, which we won't get into, but, uh,
Mhm.
I mean, really, I ended up deciding, like, if I'm just wanting to travel anyway, then it doesn't really matter where I'm residing, especially since the rent's a lot more cheap in the West Virginia side, especially my current situation, which I have family that's like landlords, and so it's nice.
Yeah, you gotta go where you can be comfortable, of course,
Absolutely.
doing your craft because you're so
Sure.
busy all of the time. Well, we talk a lot about music, and of course, that's what we're here for. And we're also going to get to where people can see you perform and how they can find you. But can you tell us a little bit about yourself without the music industry? Maybe something that someone didn't know about you that's followed you for a long time. What are some things that people might not have guessed?
Honestly, there's really not much else.
Oh, I
It's
bet there
been
is.
it's been music since I was 5. Anything music or anything media related. Like I do photography, and I'm starting to get into videography. There's a chance I might be doing my own next music video for my new single. Um, I do audio production, so I actually produced my new single and recorded like all the parts except for a couple.
Wow.
Actually, it's funny because the drums was actually a gentleman named Kent Slusher who plays with Luke Bryan. The slide guitar was buddy Kyle Everson who plays with Martina McBride and Joe Nichols. And then the organ was Tim McDonald who plays with Blake Shelton and like Hank. And but everything else, like my guitarist and I did the guitars, and then I did the everything else, and then I just sent it out for mix and master. But I can do that as well. But I just wanted the professional touch that to make it a little bit better.
So how'd you build those connections?
Just knew people that knew people, and got connected like through Facebook, or like somebody would be like, "Hey, this person's number." Like the person that mixed and mastered my buddy Kyle, who did the dobro for my new single and worked on some of my first album stuff. He sent me the number of the guy and was like, "Hey, contact them. Here's what his cost is, and he's really good." And it's just always got to be humble and kind, as the song says, and just be yourself and do what you can.
Of course. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about where people can see you perform. Where are
Absolutely.
some of those locations that might be near?
Nearby, all I can think of off the top of my head, which my schedule is available on my website, it's nathanking.net. I'm playing at the Marshall County Fair July 23rd. That's probably my more local event. I do have an acoustic show July 13th in Hanoverton, Ohio, at the Tipsy Farmer Winery. Fantastic place. I love playing there. And then in October, I'm actually playing at Jurgles in Pittsburgh with Phil Vassar, which I'm very excited about as well.
I have been to Jurgles, and I've also been to the Marshall County Fair, but I like the scenery in Jurgles. If
Absolutely.
those who are listening have never been, it is really cool. 2 stories, people can just walk in, great food as well. So if you miss the
Fantastic.
Marshall County Fair, you can always go over to Pittsburgh. It's just a little bit further, but I'm
Absolutely.
familiar with that venue as well. So
Yeah.
who plays with you?
My drummer at the moment is Sean Preston, a guy from like the Erie, Pennsylvania area. Fantastic drummer, Marine. So today is his day.
Yeah.
And then my guitarist is DJ Carruthers, who's been in a lot of like the rock projects and stuff as well over the past few years, and he's been with me for quite a while as well. At the moment, it's just a 3-piece. We do our thing ourselves, and once we find the right 4th or 5th members, then we'll add some more. But
So for people who are getting ready to see you, where can they find your music at in that new single that you were talking about?
everywhere, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, Pandora, iHeart. Hopefully some of the stations will start picking it up as well. But yeah, if you just search for my name and the name of the single, Like Dirt is the name of the single. And then my 2 albums are also available on everything as well.
Is there anything else you want to add about Like Dirt? Maybe your inspiration behind it or something that people can look for in the music?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's a very relatable song. It's the title, you'd think it would be like very like country, like outdoorsy type thing, but it's actually sung from the perspective of somebody who is crazy about a woman who's with somebody that treats her like dirt. So I'm
Uh,
sure a lot of the guys have been there, and every female listener that's listened to it has instantly related to it, because I'm sure everybody's been treated less than what they deserve.
yeah, absolutely. So is it still that country feel or does it have some pop in it?
That specifically is probably very, very country. It's got the twang, it's got the slide parts, and very proud of how it turned out. But I do have some other stuff that's a little bit more poppy, and stuff that's rock influenced, because like I said, I listen to everything, and I have a very
Yeah.
strong rock background.
And whenever people come and see you perform, or is it going to be mostly all of your music that you're playing?
About half and half, especially like events like the fair, we'll be playing at least 2 hours. So it'll be like a 60-40 cover to original ratio. So we do a lot of like the big hits from like Brantley Gilbert or Jason Aldean or Luke Bryan, or a lot of the modern country hits.
Okay, perfect. Anything else you'd like to add to get people to come on out?
Check out my song, my new single, Like Dirt, available on everything. I prefer Spotify myself. NathanKing.net has my schedule, and if you like the music, come check it out. I can promise a fun and entertaining show.
And that'll do it for this edition of the Summer of Fun. Again, that was Nathan King, who's performing at the upcoming Marshall County Fair. For more information, head to our website, WTOV9.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes of the Summer of Fun.